Ski Jumping Pro VR is such an incredible simulation experience that even if you have little or no interest in ski jumping as a sport, you can still walk away from this game having had one hell of an outstanding experience. Developed by Yippee Entertainment, who I know absolutely nothing about, but based on this release alone, I do expect more good things to come from them in the future, and it's published by Calypso Media, who we all know and love already, and it is they who have sent me this key for review, so thank you for that. Ski Jumping Pro VR is due for release on the 6th of December 2019. This is a game that I would recommend for family VR experiences and singular VR challenges, as Ski Jumping Pro VR really does deliver an ultra-realistic ski jumping experience by doing a great job of capturing the speed, the technique and the thrill of the jump. Alright, second jump. I don't have a price for you, which is often the way with preview access to games before they launch, but I would say a price anywhere between £10 and £20 would be a reasonable ask. Anything below that is an absolute steal. Anything above that would limit this, I think, to those with a real passion for ski jumping already. So I rather hope that they don't do that. It's always a risk to speculate on price, but I have been consistently accurate in the past, so I feel I must have a good eye for a deal. Have you ever wondered why ski jumpers do what they do? Well, give this game a whirl and it will all make sense to you. The in-game mechanics are actually so close to the real thing that you will be forgiven for leaving this game with the misguided perception that you actually have some sort of natural talent for ski jumping. I'm the best! Trust me, you do not. I am the best. On Steam, it says that Ski Jumping Pro VR is only officially supporting the HTC Vive, but my Oculus Rift handled this game without issue. It is single player only, unfortunately, as multiplayer competition could certainly have been a lot of fun in this game. It supports standing, sitting, and also appears to be okay with room scale setups, despite not officially supporting that either. What's really cool about this game, other than the gameplay, is the depth that it offers. There's a single event, if that's what you want to do, or a career. Within the career, there are 62 events to participate in. There's the Continental Cup, the World Cup, the Four Hills Tournament, Ski Flying World Cup and Team Tour, each of which include 19 of the major well-known ski jump venues across Europe, some of which I did actually recognise by name, which somewhat surprised me. I'd say that each jump is modelled well enough, with some unique features for each, and what's more impressive is that each jump really does feel different. Not quite sure how they've managed that, but it really does feel different. Performing well will earn you stars and dollars. Each can be used to buy better equipment like boots, gloves, helmets, skis, suits and gloves, each of which will boost certain skills and enhance your overall potential. There are also training opportunities which can be purchased using the same dollars and stars, and unlocking sponsors will earn you more dollars and stars at each event that you do well with. Finally, you can select your nationality. Most are available, and although it does little to enhance the game, in all honesty, it's a nice and important touch. There's quite a decent amount of feedback in the game regarding your stats and achievements or trophies, all of which can be viewed as you progress and unlock more events. So Ski Jumping Pro VR is excellent and I highly recommend it to you, but it's not perfect, and I'm now going to explain the issues which I encountered and give some suggestions on how I think things could be improved. As I see it, there are three major issues with the game. The in-game tutorials need fleshing out, and I'll cover this in more depth in a bit. The camera positions on some of the slopes would seriously benefit from adjustment, or at least some consistency. As the game is right now, you don't always get the best view of your jump. You're either facing the wrong way, you're too far away, or there is something obstructing your view, which is quite a shame actually. And whilst discussing camera replays, I'd say that the character animation is quite sadly lacking. I would like to see details in the jump, the flight and the landing of my best and worst jumps. Unfortunately, it seems at least that all the replays are the same. A good jump, a great jump, and a failure. They all are pretty much identical. Now, this isn't a deal breaker by any means, because the game itself is great. But it would be nice to have a more detailed replay to watch. It would help you to learn how and where you can improve on your technique. And to be honest with you, the way it is now, I think people are just going to skip it. It is worth noting that the game does offer quite a bit of detailed feedback after each successful jump. Okay, so the tutorial, it's brief. It's enough to get you up and running, but the majority of the advanced tutorials are either completely missing from it or found only within some of the loading screens, which unfortunately for me were extremely glitchy and a little nausea-inducing. Actually, before I progress onto the rest of this, I just want to discuss nausea in this game. I was a little worried at first that the game might induce nausea, and if you've never had VR sickness, then you're lucky, because it's really a nasty experience. So a game like this, with the speeds, the heights and the failed landings, is a potential hotbed for nausea-inducing scenarios. But actually, no, they've done an excellent job here in this regard. I did not feel queasy at all, with the exception of the loading screens. I happily played the game for a good hour. I played through the entire Continental Cup, and I completed that event, finishing in 4th place overall. You can watch that on SimUK Let's Play if you want to see some gameplay footage. Unfortunately, halfway through that recording, my webcam froze, which really is a shame, because as I progressed through the game, I got much better at the technique, and yeah, unfortunately you won't get to see that. So the right way to play this game, or the best way to play in my humble opinion, is to start when the wind is green. Now, I'm not 100% sure that this actually helps, but this is what I did, and it seemed to work okay for me. Again, this is something that was missing from the tutorial. It is possible that a negative red wind is blowing to the left and a positive green wind is blowing to the right, and ideally you want to get 0 in the middle, but I'm not 100% sure because there's no real clarification that I could find. So as you start your run, you will bring both your hands in front of you and grip, and when you decide that it's time to go, you will bring both of your hands straight past your hips and behind your back, and hold them there exactly as they do in the real events. Whilst keeping your arms still, you will adjust your balance using your knees and your torso in order to gain as best a centre of balance as possible, which will increase your speed in the downhill run. When the right moment comes, you will swing both of your arms up as straight as possible, and then almost immediately split your arms into a V shape, making sure to hold the centre of balance throughout the flight. And just before it's too late, you will land by pulling your arms together and then straight down for a decent landing. Now, I've got to say that a good jump really does feel great, but it does not guarantee first place, as any slight miscalculation or loss of balance through any of that is enough to kick you from first place to 31st place. Now, unbeknownst to me, you must actually qualify in the top 30 on your first jump in order to qualify for the second jump. It is mentioned in one of the loading screens, but it's not actually discussed at all in the tutorial. So making sure the first jump is a solid one is actually more important than having a big jump. And then obviously when you're in round 2, you can really go for it then. So without any practice, no upgrades, or really knowing everything about the game, I did manage to finish 4th in my first event. I was pretty satisfied with myself. It was really entertaining. I enjoyed the whole thing. I managed to unlock the World Cup, and I look forward to taking on that challenge soon. Again, that's something you should be able to watch on SimUK Let's Play. Now, one of the things I do worry about is that because I did so well, there's the possibility that the AI are not quite hard enough, or that the balance mechanic is actually too easy. With all the advantages that you can gain from buying new and different equipment, it does worry me that there's not going to be the same element of challenge that I enjoyed through this first bit of gameplay. Only time will really tell, but I hope the challenge remains a good one, and so far I've got to say I really am enjoying it immensely. Now the game could benefit from a few additions in time, maybe as DLCs or whatever. Multiplayer I think would work really well here, as would an offline challenge mode, so that you and a few friends could actually compete against each other in an event. Now I've seen no indication at all that this might be coming, so just regard this as a recommendation from me to the devs directly. Maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. If you can think of any additional features that you'd like to see, let me know in the comments section below, and maybe the devs will pick up on it and do something with it as well. But I've got to say, this game surprised me. It's something that was interesting to me. I mean, I love the Olympics, and the Olympics is the only time that I watch ski jumping at all. And I do look at them and I think, my God, they must be crazy. But playing this game has given me a new sense of understanding of why they do it. It must be an epic buzz, and the scrutiny behind getting your balance and timing just right is really quite rewarding when you have a good jump, when you know when you've had a good jump, and they've really captured that seriously well. 100% I would say that this was a simulator. I wouldn't necessarily say it was a hardcore simulator, and hopefully the AI challenge is going to get more difficult as I progress, but obviously it's not fully released yet, so I don't have access to everything, and I don't have time to do it either, unfortunately. But yeah, I would say this is definitely a simulated experience. I certainly came away from this with a greater understanding and much greater respect and appreciation for ski jumpers. And yeah, looking forward to playing more. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Till next time. Goodbye.